رجعت لكم مقطع جديد. يلا نبدأ كالعادة بدون مقدمات. والله ما أدري، أتوقع قربنا من النهاية.
13 years in the past, Mitsuru Kusimoto plunged himself into a coma, sealing his fate alongside Kawana's. Ridden by guilt, Kawana sets off on a path of vengeance, and the bullies he drags with him are shackled to the shadows. However, Yokosawa's murder serves as a deadly wake-up call to what he's done.
أوكي، الشابتر العاشر، كاتش تايجر. كاتش تايجر. أنا أمسك بالنمر. أوكي، ترى صفقناهم. أهم شي أورجيو.
What are you doing? Getting your identification on record, so you won't be a threat to us anymore?
يب. قال بناخذ هويتكم عشان لا تهدون بعد
I
الآن.
think you owe us after everything you've done. Expect me to come collect one of these days. Your carriage awaits, Mamiya-san.
Don't tell me we're going back to that dingy arcade.
We sure are. But try not to hold a grudge. It wasn't us who abandoned you. Higashi, you already called Sari-san and the gang, right?
Yeah, I let them know what's up. They said they'll head over when they're ready.
Did Shirosaki-sensei say anything?
Well, she was pretty stunned when I told her who Kuwana really is and what he's up to.
Sounding a little smug there, Higashi-san. Taking credit for the detective work you didn't even do? Back me up here, Yagami-san.
Whatever, man. Kuwana got away, and that's all that matters. Still, the task in front of us is finishing Sari-san's case. With Mamiya-san's help, of course.
Finally, I'm ready to get some answers. Well, we still got time till Shirosaki-sensei gets here. Why don't you take a breather, Yagami-san?
Huh?
Sure. I'll call you once everyone's here.
Yeah, a break sounds good.
By the way, Higashi,
أوكي.
has anything unusual gone down in Kamurocho lately?
Yeah, about that. My guys are saying things have been
يقم.
a little too quiet since Soma and Akutsu are out in Ijincho too.
أوكي، صار هادين
They can
يقول.
pay for what they did to Kaito Aniki.
Make them pay? Aren't your Yakuza days behind you now?
It's not the Yakuza in me talking. That's just a problem I'm gonna be the solution for.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
exactly what a Yakuza would say?
يب.
Think of it as getting revenge for
يا
a brother.
ربي استغفر الله.
I'm doing the right thing,
باقي
damn it.
دم الياكوزا فيه والله ما
Maybe
يقدر.
it's just how you're
bad
putting it.
habit يعني.
Besides,
شو اسمه
what's it
old
matter
habit
if I was
أتوقع
Yakuza?
يقولونها، ما أدري،
I
من
got my
عادات
own
قديمة
code, and I'm
يعني.
gonna do right by me.
Whatever you say. Much as things change.
المهم هو
they
يبي
stay the
يعاقب
same.
اركي عشان اللي سواه في كايتو. المهم قالوا ليقوم ياخذ استراحة إذا جايوا ذولا نحن بندق على كذا الكل يتجمع هنا. هذا صار مقر العصابة حقتنا. أمزح يعني، مو عصابة يعني، مقر ايه ابعدوا طيب، بدأ الصياح ذا. الله.
Hey, Yagami-san, it's Sugiura.
Hey.
ايوه كلهم جايوا.
Shirosaki-sensei and the others just got to Charles. They're getting ready to grill Mamiya-san.
Got it. And I'll head back soon.
Thanks.
ماما تاني شفتوا كيف حتى ما خلوني. ايش هذه الفسحة اللي خلصت سريع يعني؟ قالوا لي روحي تمشي شوية، ما مداني تمشي يا قلبي، خلص الوقت سريع وانتوا شايفين معايا.
Really? You too, Gendo-sensei?
جنتا سensei هنا.
By the way,
Of course not. I didn't know you still did field work.
I figured if they could pull a
حتى
fast
لو
one
ما
on
توقعت انه
Sariko,
راح
I'd at
باقي
least want to look him in the
يسوي
eye.
العمل الميداني على قولتهم.
Why are all these people here? What gives?
We've been waiting for you, Yagami-san. Mamiya-san is about to
جرب
enlighten
الشعور
us
اللي
on the truth
تتحدين على
behind the
شخص
broken.
واحد ضعيف.
Good.
Oh, and
بس على
I
قد ما
heard about
بيأذوك زي ما
Sensei.
انتوا أذيتوا
I'm so
ذاك
sorry.
الانتحار.
Our condolences.
Looks like she got mixed up in all this when RK was chasing after Kawana. But we're still not sure why they chased him. To figure that out, we'll have to retrace Kawana's steps.
يب لازم
Exactly.
نلحق كوانا.
That said, let's start with the harassment charges, Mamiya-san.
اوكي ما يحتاج انا اللي اقعد اضغط.
Fine. Let's get this over with.
اوكي.
Pout all you want, but keep the answers straight. Got it?
Ahara's assault was designed to establish a false alibi for Mikoshi, so Kawana had you play the victim. And together, you pulled one over on the police and the court.
Can you confirm if this is all accurate so far, please?
Yeah.
The person who groped you on the train wasn't Ahara-san himself. It was his stand-in. And my understanding is that he had conspirators to help him fabricate this event?
That's right.
What was Kawana doing at the time? Was he in Ijinsho or Tokyo?
Didn't you hear your lady friend? Ahara-san had a stand-in. And that
Okay.
stand-in was our sensei.
You mean Kawana posed as Ahara himself? So this Ahara was actually Kawana. Huh.
Sensei and Ahara-san
كيف
had a pretty
كذا؟
similar build. Not sure they could have pulled it off otherwise, you know?
But some spots don't look right, like his mouth. You sure that's really Kawana-san?
That part around his mouth is fake. He said he scanned Ahara-san's face and made it on a 3D printer.
Oh, huh.
You can print things in 3D now?
Well, it's a machine that takes
Oh
a
my
model's
God، يقول
data
طبع
from the
وجه
computer
ذاك
and prints physical
3D
objects
وحطه
using
في
materials
وجهه.
like resin. So if you were to scan
يعني
a person's
الفيديو
face onto a
مفبرك
computer,
حق
a 3D printer could accurately recreate it.
عقوتهم harassment.
I don't know the details, but that's what Sensei used to become Ahara-san.
Something like this. See, with a 3D printer, a piece of a face is pretty easy to make.
What the hell?
I see. His eyes are hidden behind the sunglasses, and the seams on his jaw are obscured by the mask.
It's incredible, I must say. With the mouth area so visible, it's too convincing to think he's anybody else.
يب.
And with the prosecution assuming he's just another sexual predator, they fell for it.
This is no time to be impressed. In case you forgot, he had the defense
يقول هذا
tools too.
تقول هذا مو وقت الانبهار. كان أتكلم عني حتى أنا.
Assuming Kawana was Ahara's double, there's still some evidence I'm iffy about.
I'm of the same opinion.
Okay. Which evidence is questionable?
ما أنا أقول دي والله ما أدري.
Can you take a closer look at this?
That's the Ikebukuro station platform.
If Kawana was pretending to be Ahara, then Kawana was also the man in the video before he got on the train, correct?
Right. Didn't we go over this already?
أيوة صح. بس هنا.
How should we be looking at this?
The guy getting taken down in the footage is the real Ihara-san. Sensei had already switched places with them before the scene happened. No one saw through his disguise.
Makes sense. There'd be no way to swap places after getting caught like this. His sunglasses were removed too.
Also, the person who tripped him was one of ours. So was the one who took the smartphone video. If nobody tried to stop him, he would have just gotten away. But the most important part of it was pinning Ahara-san as the culprit out in public.
Right. If that didn't happen, the entire alibi goes up in smoke.
More or less.
So basically, this entire battery case was calculated from the start. Nothing but smoke and mirrors.
اوكي، ايش هذا؟ اتوقع هذه.
How about this?
What's
We both. That was the.
is I get
والله ما ادري.
This piece.
Is-
From.
That, but the
I take.
that's what the police found on Ahara-san's hands was exactly what we wanted them to find. And it would serve as hard proof he grabbed me. The courts really ate it up. It was hard not to laugh sometimes, to be honest.
حقيرة.
You're really starting to open up. That's the spirit.
طلعت المتنمرة اللي جوتها.
How about
And
the
Right.
Thanks, the Frank, huh?
So after that,
So even-
Yeah.
I mean,
هذا الفيديو كيف فبركه؟
Anything. You're gonna.
I mean,
Who put the?
Sensei did.
So that was all part of.
Yeah, his sons, and that's what the real victim is, some bully who never got what he deserved, and the killer gets off in how would the public respond after finding out they'd gamed the law like that?
So Kawana and Ahara's real plan was to make a mockery out of the justice system.
Seems to be going well for them. The courts are beside themselves for dragging the police into this.
I guess he was never concerned about his own punishment.
Yeah, cop or not, Ahara is a broken man. Nobody took responsibility for his son's death.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Sensei and Ahara-san are the perfect. Speaking of which, are we done here yet?
Yagami-san, you sure that's enough?
Yeah, at the very.
The courts were being
Are you saying?
I am. We'll reveal a.
Why do you...
Well, as the doesn't matter.
And we'll talk to him tomorrow. First, we need to see how he reacts to everything.
Sounds good.
Will do.
So,
Sure are. Great job, everyone. Go get some rest.
اوكي، اتوقع اني راح احتاج اروح
Yo,
للوكالة.
Yagami. You sure it was cool to let that Mamiya chick just go home?
Yeah? Why?
I mean, she helped Kawana kill all those people. Aren't you gonna turn her in or something?
I would. There's nothing we can do.
Nothing we can do?
يب، ما
Frankly,
نقدر
we
نسوي
don't have
شيء
any
الحين.
proof of the murder she was talking.
What, so this is all for
يب،
nothing?
لازم أدلة.
Nothing directly
نسلم على
pointing to
إيش؟
Mama
للهواء
anyway.
بدون أدلة.
Aside from Mikoshiba, no other bodies turned up. Which means all we can do is take her home, right? Sugiura is making sure she gets back safe.
Fine, forget it. Why are you still here? Everyone else went home already.
Come on, man, why the cold shoulder? Am I really that annoying?
You wouldn't be the guy I'd call to hang out with. So if you're done, then go.
Wow. Straight for the jugular, huh?
يب.
But if it's help you need, I'll be there. I've had nothing but time lately. But only if you bow your head and ask nice. Then I'll consider it.
I know for a fact you'd help me out regardless. So why
بغيت
waste a good
أقول
guy?
عنه كيوت اللي
Thanks for
شوية.
the drink.
Dude, come on. That was your cue to bow and ask nice.
لا، يقول له ما يبي يجلس معه زي كذا. المهم قال له بس إنك إذا احتجت مساعدة راح أجيك. قال له بس إذا سألتني بلطف. أوكي، خلنا نجري شوية في مدينتنا. طلع قدام عيني. الله، حركات صعبة. تعال. أبلع. يلا.
What a waste.
اي والله انه مضيع الوقت. ابعد عن طريقي. مشكلة هذه المدينة الناس مرة زحمة. شفتوا؟ يا الله، حتى جنبهم مشيت ياها. اوكي، رجعنا البيت. ما في احلى من البيت. يلا good night. اوكي، خلينا نشوف. ما في عرض. اوكي، ناخد تاكسي شو اسمه. تا 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 نا 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 تا 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 تا. اتوقع هذا. يلا 1100 مستوعبين؟ ايش السعر الخيالي هذا؟
So, you're recommending an appeal? I have that right? Did some new evidence come to light?
Yui Mamiya told us some things, like how you faked your alibi for Mikoshiba's murder. You wanted the sexual battery conviction, right?
Well...
Your goal was to avenge your son and humiliate the law on a grand scale.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ahara-san, we have a much better grasp of the situation than you think.
And what exactly have you grasped?
Like Yagami-san just said, you're innocent. As far as the harassment goes. As your lawyer, I'll file for an appeal. And we'll make sure the world knows it.
Thanks, but no. I'm scum of the earth. A pervert. The prosecution and the judge made that very clear in the verdict.
On the day of the crime, October 7th, at around 6:30 a.m., you were in Ijincho, not Tokyo.
Baloney. I was relaxing at home.
Except that you weren't.
Oh?
You wanted to give the man who pushed your son to suicide the beating of a lifetime. And you'd miss out on that opportunity if you were at home, which is why you were in Ijincho instead. Isn't that right? You and Kawana's former student staked out Mikoshiba's house until he left. Then you dragged your prey into a car and brought him to an abandoned building in Ijincho, which would later become a murder scene. Every bone on Mikoshiba's fingers was broken. Remembering how he pushed Toshiro-kun to his death, it's no wonder you'd go that far. You tortured Mikoshiba without a shred of remorse. You inflicted no small amount of pain and terror. There's no way you weren't there, and I'd put my money on that.
And then...
You need the whole play-by-play? Even though you already know it?
Oh, not at all. I'm just fascinated by this outrageous little story.
As for what you did next after beating Mikoshiba...
It's quite a home video.
Without leaving anything on Mikoshiba's body that could be traced back to you, you slit his throat. Estimated time of death was around 7:30 a.m. on October 7th. You tossed the bloody coat and made your way to Ikebukuro Station, where Yui Mamiya was waiting.
Are you sure? I was at Ikebukuro by 7:30 a.m. Would have been impossible for me to kill Mikoshiba in Ijincho.
The person in the security camera footage in Ikebukuro was a double who imitated your likeness. The identity of whom belonged to Jin Kawana, the handyman in Ijincho. Or maybe you know him by a different name. Former high school teacher Yu Kitakata. So which name did he give you?
I don't know who you're talking about.
With Kawana in view of the security camera, you met up with Yui Mamiya at Ikebukuro first. That's where you touched the undergarment she had prepared. The police would later discover the trace evidence on your hands and pin the groping on you. Then you made your way to Shinjuku Station. After that, Mamiya and Kuwana acted out the groping as they arrived at Shinjuku Station. Kuwana jumped out of the train and Mamiya chased after him. And then, in the smallest of blind spots in a station absolutely packed with cameras, you were waiting for Kuwana, who looked just like you. With the two of you matching, you were able to swap places in that huge crowd without anyone noticing. Kuwana handed you the transit card used to pass the ticket gate. Just one piece of hard evidence that places you in Ikebukuro at 7:43 a.m. And right after the swap, Mamiya started calling for help. After that, well, we've all seen how the news reported it. You were caught in a public place with plenty of witnesses.
An active duty police officer arrested for sexual battery. The public outcry was very clear. As a result, despite it being your first offense, you were actually tried and convicted. The consensus is that it was a fitting punishment for someone so heinous. Even as your lawyer, I felt the same.
Have some confidence in yourself, Shirosaki-sensei. The prosecution, the judge, and a lawyer like you all laid out the evidence in court and found me guilty. I'm in no position to doubt you. And I've long accepted the ruling that Toshiro was never bullied. There's nothing I can do but abide by the rule of law. Right? That's all I can do, right?
I know what you're trying to say. You carried out the justice that the courts wouldn't, right?
Everything my son went through was passed off like it never even happened. School, the teachers, and yes, the court. They all dismissed the reason he died.
That's when Kuwana came in the picture, telling you Toshiro-kun had been bullied. But was it Kawana's words that suddenly made you want to kill Mikoshiba? Because all of his fingers were broken while he was still alive. Was that really all just your pent-up rage?
What do you have to say, Ihara-san?
Did Kuwana really tell you? You found enough motive to murder Mikoshiba on hearsay? No. That doesn't sound right at all. Was Sawa-sensei the one who told you the truth? She was the only person Toshiro-kun confided in. You had to have heard it.
Nearly hit the nail.
Nearly?
After my trial, she confessed she knew about the bullying. But only to her old teacher over the phone. She had no idea she was being recorded.
What?
Kuwana-san let me listen to that recording where I learned Sawa-sensei had been muzzled by both the homeroom teacher and the lawyer. That was the proof of Toshiro's bullying I'd wanted all throughout the trial. After hearing Sawa-sensei's words, I finally understood. They pushed my boy over the edge.
Was there no other evidence of the bullying? Like a diary of Toshiro-kun's or something of the sort?
Nothing. Toshiro never talked to me or my wife about the bullying. And that was probably all my fault. He was bullied in middle school, too. Kids would throw his pencil case around or hide his books. When I heard about it, I chewed him out. They walk all over you because you're weak. Grow spine, I told him.
I take it that was the wrong approach.
Yeah. I can't imagine how much courage it took for him to come forward about his suffering. I'm sure he felt ashamed about it. And I should have listened when he pleaded for help. I should have told him I was proud of his bravery. But instead, I pushed him away. And in the end, Toshiro tried to make sure he never showed weakness to us again, no matter how much pain he was in. He went to a private school out in Yokohama because he hated living with me. But in the end, he still suffered.
And that's why you didn't hesitate to unleash hell on Mikoshiba.
If you say so.
So the first time Kawana showed up was when he let you listen to the phone call with Sawa-sensei, right?
Yes. He approached me and asked me if I still wanted justice for my son. I was in uniform when he came to me too. Very bold. But it paid off. I owe him a debt of gratitude. He reassured me he had already taken care of multiple individuals like Goshiba, and that he'd urged other families to avenge the children they lost to bullying. He'd tell them that simply being branded a bully wasn't enough. He promised to deliver real justice.
If justice can be served at one's own discretion, laws would cease to serve their function. If the law isn't fair to everyone, no one will obey it. The law is only able to help the powerless because it can't be swayed by money, force, or anything else.
Then tell me, what's the solution when the law fails to punish someone who laughs in its face? To overlook those the law won't judge is to abandon those the law couldn't protect.
To render justice with confidence, you require sufficient evidence.
Some of the victims' families refused Kawana's offer of revenge, telling him it would be unforgivable. But even after rejecting his offer, not a one reported Kawana-san to the police. Do you understand what that implies? Whether you follow through with revenge or not, Kawana-san presents a solution that resonates with people. Being that the law is unfair and imperfect. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're not. But we're fighting to make it as fair as we can. Laws have to change until they are perfect.
They don't change fast enough. Toshiro's death was murder by another name. Yet Hiromi Kushiba walked free. He even got to enroll in a teaching program as a student teacher. Someone like him? It's insane! I'd die of old age before the law was ever written to be fair enough. For Toshiro's sake, I can't turn a blind eye to a world where the Mikoshibas can live without consequence. Tell me, what alternative was there to getting blood on my hands? I didn't have any other choice.
Yagami-san, did he just...
This is the first time you've admitted to killing Mikoshiba.
You really did your research, unlike those useless cops. Kawana-san's plan was impressive, almost airtight. I didn't expect it to be unraveled so quickly.
I just got lucky. There was some dirt on Yui Mamiya that Kawana could have used against her. If we hadn't found it, there's no way we would have gotten her to talk.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, but I'm under no obligation to tell you.
Ahara-san, you'll be sent to prison as a sex offender as it stands.
Of course. Just as I planned. The charges will be confirmed, and I'll be convicted. As for the police and the prosecution, they wouldn't be able to admit they made a mistake. I could scream, "I killed Mikoshiba" at the top of my lungs. It wouldn't matter.
Are you saying you intend to admit to the murder after you're released?
Everyone's seen the video of me killing Mikoshiba by now. It's obviously authentic, but the prosecution and the police are saying it's fake. They need it to be fake. Even if I do confess, they'll sweep it under the rug.
They wouldn't.
No, that's not beneath them. But I take it how they react doesn't really matter to you. All you want is to humiliate the law, don't you? The same system that determined Toshiro-kun's incident didn't happen.
It seems you're starting to understand, Yagami-san. If the prosecution wanted to charge me for Mikoshiba's murder, then they'd have to retract the battery verdict. And that would mean admitting to a massive blunder by the court at the hands of a criminal. It would be chaos. Despite knowing who murdered Mikoshiba, no one would know what to make of the case. Wouldn't that just be wonderful?
I hear you. And I even get why you'd feel pretty proud of accomplishing that.
Do you?
But in this case, the guy's pretty much grabbed the tiger by the tail.
What tiger's tail?
Someone's issuing orders to the thugs in Kamurocho from behind the scenes. He's the tiger in this case. And they've been closing in on your partner, Kawana. And Sawa-sensei got in their path. I'm sure you get the newspaper in here, right? You know, don't you? Sawa-sensei was killed after the thugs broke into her home. All because she got involved with Kawana.
Where she was killed. This is the first I'm hearing of the reason why. And by thugs, you mean RK?
Yeah, but we don't know why they're going after Kawana. Any ideas?
No way I'd know.
You think it could be because she got mixed up in your deadly little game?
Excuse me?
That's what getting away with murder really looks like. The more you perpetuate the lie, the greater the rift you create. And then, the unthinkable happens. Kawana killed others besides Mikoshiba. You said so yourself. That's what brought the angry tiger into play. And if Sawa-sensei ended up paying for that instead, then how can you begin to believe your vengeance is fair?
Because she gave false testimony. She lied in court to say
She couldn't name Mikoshiba, who was a minor at the time, without evidence. What's more, she was haunted by her testimony. But now she's been killed. Somehow that's acceptable to you? I'm gonna clear up what happened to Sawa-sensei. Just like you did for Toshiro-kun.
How?
By going public with everything you and Kawana did. The first step is to appeal the sexual battery and undo this whole lie.
You never groped Yui Mamiya. That's one crime you're innocent of, Ehara-san. The court's verdict was incorrect. So please give us the chance to appeal. We can prove your innocence.
What on earth would I get out of that?
You get to humiliate the court again. Besides, what are you gonna do for the next half a year in a cell?
Fine. Do what you want. But just know this.
Yes?
I have no intention of admitting to killing Mikoshiba in court. Is your appeal still worth a damn?
We won't know till we try. Let's go, Sari-san. We have client approval to proceed with the appeal.
شفتوا الحين هذا كل اللي صار.
Yes, agreed.
أول شيء مع ذيك كان تمثيل من مايا ما أدري شو اسمها.
Sawa-sensei's death isn't on me. Even if I have grabbed the tiger by the tail. That doesn't mean I killed him.
By that logic, you may as well admit that Mikoshiba didn't kill Toshiro-kun. You can't have it both ways.
أوكي بس هو
Listen to
قتل
me.
ذاك.
Everything about you, about Kawana, about why Sawa-sensei had to die.
المهم قال راح يفضحهم هو وكوانا. طبعا طلع كوانا راح لكل العائلات اللي زي كذا أبنائهم تنمروا عليهم وانتحروا. راح لهم وعرض عليهم إنه يقتلوا المتنمرين. بس بدون أي مقابل يعني بس إنه ينتقم
I'm going to fill Genda-sensei in on
للي
what happened.
انتحروا.
Why don't
عرفتم؟
you head over to the office?
Sure thing.
طبعا أغلب الآباء يعني رفضوا إنه ينتقمون بس هذا وافق زي ما أنتم شايفين وش اسمه وقتل ذاك مقابل إنه
So then, Ihara admitted to killing Mikoshiba, did he?
Off
يب.
the record, yeah. He also admitted Koana
اللي
approached
تنمر
him
على
looking for
ولده.
revenge.
That sounds like you were productive.
It's enough for us to move forward with the appeal, I'd say. How does that sound, Genda-sensei?
ودحين لازم نثبت إنه تهمة الهراسمنت كذب.
The sexual
صارت
battery
في
and
القطار.
Mikoshiba's murder are the very same case.
يعني
To clear Ihara of harassment,
هم زرعوا
you'll need to
الأدلة
prove he
بالعربي.
murdered Mikoshiba. But you don't have evidence
هو
he
كان
did,
هناك
do
في
you?
وقت قتل
Ihara-san was
ميكوشيبا.
captured on video committing the murder.
And the prosecution
بس
claims
هم
it's a
قصهم
fake
يبي
of unknown origins. The police are
يبي
saying the
يلعبون على
same.
المحكمة
They're
والكذا
only saying that
والقانون،
to
يقولون
cover their
القانون ما
asses.
يجيب شيء وكذا وما
In
أدري إيش.
reality, the
قامت ثورة
sexual
قالت له
battery evidence
القانون
against
يجيب
Ihara-san
كل
is what
شيء،
was really fake.
والقانون هو
At the
يساعد
very
دائما
least,
في الغالب
we can claim
الضعفاء.
Yui Mamiya and the others aided in fabricating that, alibi or not.
يب.
You
بس
really think the
الفبركة هي
court will grant
المشكلة،
you an
حتى
appeal
الضعيف
for
ما يقدر
just
ياخذ حقه
that?
إذا
Are you saying that's not possible?
الطرف الثاني
I wouldn't
كان
go that
كذاب
far.
ومفبرك
But
الأدلة.
Ihara won't
مشكلة
admit to
والله.
murdering Mikoshiba in court. Kind
زي
of
في أشخاص
significant, don't you
يحلفون
think?
بالله
So what chance do
ويكذبون
you have even if you
ويألفون
do appeal?
أعوذ
Without
بالله
any
منهم.
decisive new evidence, you'll
لا
just end up
يصدقونهم
splitting
الناس.
hairs over the
أعوذ
original verdict.
بالله.
And what good
خافوا
will
من
it
الله،
do
والله ما
other than
يخافون.
damage your own
يحسبون
reputation,
الحلفان شيء
Saruko?
هين. والله شوفوا بيني وبينكم أحسن يحلفون. ليش؟ عشان الحلف هذا عشان يجيهم العقاب من الله،
To
مو
be
من
honest
البشر.
with you,
يجي العقاب
I
أسوأ.
feel like I've been deeply
ليش؟ لأن
underestimated.
الله يعرف وين يضرب.
What?
Saori-san,
إيش قالت؟
are you actually mad?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I am.
You have every right to be.
Listen, Sensei. Ihara and Koana devised this plan knowing full well they could manipulate the justice system. Have we not fallen right into their trap? If we take pity on the prosecution now, we play right into their hand.
True.
So how can we worry about reputation when our duty as lawyers is to face the law?
I understand where you're coming from, and you're right to think it, but
And another thing. While acting as Ihara's defense in the first trial, I never truly believed the claim. I didn't trust the person I was defending, and I felt sick to my stomach even being in the courtroom.
Saori-san.
Ihara likely saw right through that. He probably took great delight in our myopic dedication to the law. And I won't stand for that. I'm gonna show him exactly what I can do.
what about you, Yagami? I want to hear your thoughts.
We should listen to Saori-san. I understand why Ihara and Koana did what they did. I can't condone it.
I see. So you feel it too, huh?
Yes. Although my motivation may not be as righteous as Saori-san's.
What do you mean?
Mikoshiba's murder, the fake groping alibi, the one behind it all was Koana, and he's in hiding. We need to shine enough light on him that the public can see what he is. And the perfect place to do it is during Ihara's appeal hearing.
So it's not Ihara you're after, but Koana.
If we pursue Ihara's case, Koana-san's actions will naturally come to light.
And if we draw out Koana, then RK and the ones backing them will make their move. Soma from RK said Sawa-sensei knew too much. Which means whoever's behind them has a secret that needs to stay buried, even if it means murder. And I need to figure that secret out. I owe Sawa-sensei that closure. The only thing we can do for her now is make sure the ones pulling the strings pay for it.
Well said. I guess going back wasn't ever really an option.
Genda-sensei.
Looks like I got complacent from all the peace and quiet. Leave it to me to underestimate the younger generation.
I apologize. I shouldn't have been so impertinent.
That should be my line, Saori-kun. I suppose I have to make up my mind after all that, don't I? Get out there and do what needs to be done. And heaven help anyone in your way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You heard him.
Hello?
Yagamishi, are you still in Kamurocho?
Yeah, why? What's up?
I'm afraid RK seems to be amassing in Ijincho. It's very bizarre.
Are they now?
Yeah, I can't shake the feeling that the officers...
You think so?
I see. That does...
Things are settling into place.
Wonder what it could be. Okay, see you soon then.
المهم الحين بنروح نثبت تلاعبهم بالأدلة ويعني أنهم أذكى من القانون، لكن ما في أحد أذكى الله أكبر، ما في أحد أذكى من القانون. يلا نروح ليوكوهاما، يعني تاكسي. كيف أروح ليوكوهاما؟ أتوقع هذا ما أدري. أيوه صح فعلا. بعد عني يا قلبي. هو معايا ما أقدر أطلع الثلاجة، ما أقدرش أتزلج. ما هذا؟ لماذا هذا؟ واو ناندايا، تعال نص صفتكم والله كذا. أبلع. إيش فيهم يهربون مني؟ والله أدوا هذا اللي معي صفقة محترمة. اصبري والله ما اصطبري، لا تصطبرين، اصطبري واحتسب الأجر. استغفر الله يا رب، استغفر الله. لا لا لا، استغفر الله استغفر الله يا ربي.
What a waste.
يا الله شوفوا كمان قدامي ذولا. خذوا خلاص، واحد ما عاد فيه حال. تعالوا يلا، لا تسوولي فيها انكم تسوون حركات صعبة، خلي الصعابة بعدين. تعال ياه، تعال انا اوريكم الحين. خذ هذه وهذه هدية مني بكل حب وحنان. تعال انت كمان.
Really guys?
ايش رايك؟ شوف في مطعم قدامنا يا قلب. يب ليتس جو، بس تعال نشتري لنا حاجة ناكلها نصب كذا الجوع. هذا المحل طبعا. ايش بلاك كوفي؟ ايش ذا؟ ايش هذه القهوة؟ ايش القهوة العجيبة دي؟ خلنا نشتري له دي. يلا نحلي يا شو اسمك ثاوري.
Starving. Pretty tasty. Thanks.
بالعافية علينا. عجبك الحلا؟ بعدين ان شاء الله اعزمك على حلا ثاني. يلا يا ربي كل ما اتذكر ذاك المقطع اللي يقول كيف الحلو ياكل حلا. لا لا لا، مرة مو لهالدرجة يا لطيف. اوكي وصلنا خلاص. ابى اقول رجعنا، يعني احنا وصلنا قلت رجعنا، قلت وصلنا ايش؟ لا لا خلاص مو لازم.
Now that's something. Looks like we're finally starting to see the whole picture.
Kuwana-san, or rather Kitakata-sensei, huh? And his
Kitakata.
students helped Iharum, but there's still
في
some
أحد
things
يبغى
that doesn't
كيتكاتا؟
explain.
اروح البقالة اجيب لكم كيتكاتا؟
Like why does
تبون؟
RK keep going after Kuwana-san?
والله
Yeah.
مسكين مسخرت اسمه.
That's the piece of the puzzle that'll lead us to
والله
why
شو
Sawa
اسوي؟
Sensei got killed.
اسمه كيت كات.
Before they came to Ijincho,
بس طريقة
RK was
النطق
originally
كيتي
looking
كاتا.
for but when they found
We can get some. They're strengthening.
Coons of Akatsu,
خلاص يا قلبي
quick,
يعيدون
I'm
نفس الكلام، يعيدوا يطحنون، يعيدوا يزيدون ويطحنون. ما في شيء، خلاص عرفنا الاستنتاج، بس نحن بنعرف الحين مين يبي يقتل. عندي رسالة. خير. اوكي، رسالة ما لا امها داعي. نتمشى لوحدينا. لا 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 لا. ما في والله، ما اقدر اتمشى لوحدي بالسلامة. شوفوا جوالي دق، خلوني عادي.
Hello?
امشي الاتصال صح.
You have a minute, Yagami-san?
Yeah, what's up?
I
ايوه.
was thinking back on our interview with Ihara-san, and something he said isn't sitting right with me, so I wanted to ask your opinion.
Which part felt
Sure.
off?
The part about Kuwana approaching other bullying victims besides Ihara-san to offer. Ihara-san also mentioned that most of them rejected his offer, but never went to the police either.
Yeah, and?
يب ما راحوا
Well,
للشرطة،
wasn't
ما
the
علموا
first
عليه.
bully Kuwana killed his own student? Shinya Kawai, I mean. Tormented by his bullies, Mitsuru Kusumoto's leap left him in a coma to this day. That event was the catalyst for Kuwana's actions. So wouldn't he have approached his parents about revenge too?
Mitsuru Kusumoto's parents? You're talking about his mother, Reiko Kusumoto, right?
Yes, who is currently vice minister of... If she
نفس الكلام اللي
accepted,
قلت.
there's no way she'd ever want that secret to get out. With her level of influence and power, which would explain how RK's actions are being controlled.
And you think it's Reiko Kusumoto?
You don't think vice ministers can control criminal organizations from the shadows?
ايش فيهم يدفون في ذولا؟
Yeah.
مش شايفين يكلم.
Tsukumo's actually looked into her before. I'll talk to him about her. Yeah, this is
Quite a
cheap.
compliment.
أنا فكرت هذه الفكرة لحالي. ما شاء الله عليها، نفس تفكير البنت. لا صراحة لازم اشتري لي واحدة واجرب. بس كأني باتمان بصير، تلك إشارة باتمان. باتمان ضوءا لمع وسط المدينة. بعدين يحسون باتمان جاي وكلهم يطلعون وش بهذه. مع العباية. اوه يا الشكل، اوه يا ربي، لا 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 ما راح اجربها.
Well, the day's not over yet. I need you to look into Reiko Kusumoto again. She might be the...
Really?
Yeah.
You are the one. She's the one.
Okay.
يا أخي كان من أول طالعتم فيها.
Reiko Kusumoto became vice minister just
استغفر الله،
recently.
دول الناس ما فيهم
It
ذكاء.
hasn't even been a full year yet.
Looks like she's still got a good rep.
Yeah, there's almost no criticism of her out there.
The ministry revolution. But vice ministers...
أكيد تبي تنتقم لولدها.
Right. And after kill still, and especially if
Well,
maybe
نفس
Mitsuyo
استنتاجي.
That's what. And why are they looking for Kuwana?
Shouldn't they be after Soma?
Sawa-san's former teacher before and after the incident.
عمره
It's also
43.
surfaced that he's been using a false identity for over a decade. The police are hopeful that their search will turn up some sort
يب
of
مش بعيونه
connection
تتحرك.
to Sawa-san.
If Kawana-san was caught on camera, then surely some RK thugs were as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
On that note, I should have been in the footage too. The police only seem to want Kawana, but why? Guess we'll have to ask them ourselves.
Ask who?
Detective Watanabe.
Been a
Yep.
while, hotshot.
Yeah, I guess it has. Yeah, I'm curious. Do you have any evidence?
I take it you saw the news. Kuwana was caught on camera near the crime scene. Plus, he knew the victim. And if that's not enough, he was using a fake name. How's that for evidence?
But I saw Soma holding an ice pick up to Sawa-sensei. Plus, there were RK footprints all over the scene. So why is Kawana the only suspect?
Because the big boys with big balls at HQ said so. Barking at me won't get you anywhere.
So this is all just pressure from upstairs? What is going on here?
Why are you so bent out of shape? So stick your
خلص يعني ذيك معهم
Looks like
دام
you made
الضغط من
progress.
الرؤساء.
Despite all the
خلاص
interference, I
عرفنا.
have a good...
What? Seriously?
He's on the main drag in Chinatown. If you go now, I'm sure you'll find him.
But is he even gonna listen to you?
It won't matter if I miss him because we sat here wondering.
Yeah.
Can't compete with that.
من جد والله. لازم نروح بنفسنا نسوي كل شيء. اوكي يلا نروح لشاينا تاون. وين الموقع طيب؟ الله بروح ادور له هنا. تاكسي. هنا صح؟ يب. يلا نروح شاينا تاون. يلا نبحث. ايش في؟
Yagami, why are you here?
Oh, hey, Nabe-san. And you were...
Sakurai?
Oh, right.
I take it you didn't just happen to be in the neighborhood.
Let's just say some friends of mine have a real keen sense of smell. Something stinks about the cops here.
Excuse me, pal.
Solid case. Why aren't you going after RK? Or are you and you're just keeping me in the dark?
This isn't the place to talk about that. What the? Hey!
I get the feeling something's keeping you guys from doing your jobs. And I don't have to listen to you.
من
Say
جد
that
والله.
again?
Sakurai, I gotta hit the can. Head back to the station.
Huh?
Need to take a piss, Yagami? You're looking hydrated.
Yeah, good call.
Then let's.
يلا هش 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 انقلع. مريض.
Nice spot you brought me to. Very romantic.
يقول له رومانسي جدا المنطقة اللي اخذتنا لها.
We'll do it with a pleasant view.
Do the cops really believe Koana is responsible for Sawa-sensei's death?
We wouldn't be looking for him if we weren't serious. We even have a warrant.
To arrest Koana?
His real name's Yu Kitakata. He's been using a fake. And he services right at the murder scene of his former student.
خلنا على الصوت شو نسمع اللي من سامع.
What about Soma from RK? He should have been spotted on the nearby cameras too, like when he entered her apartment.
He wasn't.
How is that possible?
Let me rephrase. There's no footage that had RK anywhere near it.
What's that supposed to mean?
From the moment Mikoshiba's murder went down, the higher-ups have been busy playing politics. I had a handle on things when they were just competing with Tokyo PD over who got to grill Ihara. But after that murder footage came out, it really stirred shit up. Sawa-sensei's case has me scratching my head too. Someone at the top is trying to keep details under wraps. And they think it'll work even in this day and age.
You're saying the whole force is in on a cover-up?
It started with the footage surrounding Sawa's apartment. Someone on the inside erased it. Any footage that had the RK guys tagged in it is totally wiped.
Erase the footage? Are you serious?
Yeah. You heard me. Koana leaving her place is all that's left. Even the parts where you show up are long gone. Before and after, the only person that the cameras pin the crime on is Koana himself.
Who would go so far to erase the footage? Who would do something like that?
It's time to let it go, Yagami. Mikoshiba's case and Sawa-sensei's case, they're closing the book. And to tie up the loose ends, and this is the shitty part, Koana has to die. in an accident.
What?
As soon as they track him down, they'll put him into custody and then blame it on negligence. They'll say he resisted arrest and died in the struggle, I guess. Someone clearly wants Kuwana gone, and they have the power to do it.
Come on. Who could have that power?
Kuwana is clearly a target of someone higher up. Even if he sees it coming, he won't be able to stop it. As far as I'm concerned, the case is closed. You wouldn't understand until you've been on the force. When the team you're playing for is rotten to the core, all you can do is look the other way. As for me, I'll stick to the cut and dry cases for a while. That's what'll keep me an honest cop.
That's bullshit! You'll shut the lid on the trash, ignore the smell of the rot coming from inside, and go on pretending it's justice? And then you call that being an honest cop?
Asshole. Did you forget that you were talking to a detective?
You never did answer the question, Nami-san. Who had the authority to erase the security cameras? Who wants Kuwana dead so bad that they do it inside?
Even if I told you, what the fuck could you do about it, detective? Smartass! Leave it alone, Yagami. It's for your own good.
Is that your call? Well, I think I'll be the judge of that.
You little piece of shit! I've had enough!
بالله.
Dead son of a bitch!
طلع في النهاية يبي يقتلونه بحجة انه ايش؟ يبي يقولون انه صار له حادث، عرفتم؟ يبي يقتلونه. يعني الصراحة مرة حقيرين، أحقر من كذا ما عمري شفت. اوه ماي جاد، بغيت اوه لا 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 لا. والله ما غيرك الباسترد يا قسم بالله انه يقهر. طلع معاهم في النهاية. يا اخي يا مش فيك دلوع كذا. شكلي سوف اودع الملاعب. يا انا يا هو الحين، يا انا يا هو. الله ماني محاط علاج. اوكي كويس، انا فزت مو هو. ماني حاط اي هيل حرفيا. اوكي.
They broke the law. So is the where why is public security involved in Sawa-sen?
Seems you know how after the well, public security would rather let RK roam free than even if you catch these guys.
Wait, so they want RK on
If RK goes down in one fell swoop, purely speaking from public
unbelievable.
Not that if you believe public security.
What the hell? Do they?
Not that I'm aware of. No priors.
Then
they're right.
So
yeah, right.
Where's he? Call me.
ما شاء الله كلامه مرة كثير. وبس هذا راح يكون نهاية مقطعنا لليوم. لا تنسوا اللايك والاشتراك في قناتي ومشاركة المقطع إذا عجبكم، وشكرا لكم وباي.